This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
We all be is honored once again to have on the one and only. There is no one like this brother on the planet today that is providing the information that he's providing in the way that he provides it. It's the one and only Dr. Randy Short. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm very good, Brother Ron Hurd. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm about to be better because of what the things you about to provide. I know last time you was on the show, it touched a nerve with a lot of people, both pro and con, against some of your viewpoints, especially about your thoughts about your former college classmate, Omarosa, but you don't hold any punches. You just let them, land where they're going to land. So without further ado, I want to first and foremost get your thoughts on the legacy of the man known as John McCain from your point of view.
John McCain was a war criminal. John McCain absolutely a person that black people should have their flags if they got them, pull the thing back up to the top, a full mast. My comments, as I said, in Facebook, my eyes are drier than the Sahara Desert during a heat wave. John McCain is his father. He's an intergenerational, comes from generations of white, racist, imperialistic war criminals. No ifs, buts, and ands about it. And when you see all these people, all these devils crying over someone, trust me, they've put a lot of black folks and other people of color in the ground before their time for no reason at all. And that's just the way it is. John McCain sold out white folks, too, when he was being tortured by the Vietnamese. He told them everything. My uncle was flying planes in Vietnam. I think he got shot down. I hope McCain had nothing to do with that. But a lot of folks are widows and don't know their dads and never got their sons back because John McCain, if you can't take the pain and you're a soldier, you don't snitch on other people. Give up the ghost. Go on and die. And he died in the 60s. A whole lot of people be alive today, and the world may have been a much better place. I know maybe he was a husband to Lindsey Graham or something like that. I don't know. I mean, all these people, but I'm sorry. And let's remember, he's from Arizona, right? Arizona's brought us a lot of things that are problematic as black people. It brought us Barry Goldwater. In case you don't know, I'll just tell you something. The people in my family are not necessarily the most radical people, but my mother had an opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be the number one personal assistant to Barry Goldwater, and my mother turned it down.
Wow.
Think about that. I'm not talking about being a personal assistant like Omarosa in 2016. I'm talking about like in 1964, being perhaps one of the highest ranking black people working female in the country on the Republican side. And my mother said no. John McCain was Barry Goldwater was opposed to the Civil Rights Movement, was opposed to Voting Rights Act, opposed to Civil Rights Act, right? And this is, and we have to say this because we're saying his name wrong. His name is Barry Goldwasser. Barry Goldwater is a Jew. The family's Jewish, and black folks need to start looking when you hear these names. Go and start doing genealogical research You're going to find a lot of times some of the meanest people in the country. You're going to be shocked. Yes, I'm not saying that there's necessarily a qualitative difference between what kind of races or which ethnic bloc, but you're going to find some of these people are Jewish. What? I mean, they're supposed to be our friends. Well, they're their own friends, and I'm not mad at them for being their own friends, but it doesn't make them our friends. So Barry Goldwater comes from Arizona, and it has been a hotbed of anti-Black reaction like Mississippi all along. So John McCain, in the shoes of Barry Goldwater, who also didn't get to be president, thank God. And in fact, you're a hater. John McCain's a hater, and John McCain's a loser. He's going to go down in history as the only white man that got his ass beat by the first Black man to be president of the United States. And I think that's what gave him brain cancer. I think that thing was in his mind over and over. A nigga beat me. A nigga beat me. A nigga beat me. I survived DC and the nigga still beat me. We can do a rap like that, right?
Well, yeah.
John McCain, let's just do this, was born in the Canal Zone, Panama Canal Zone. That thing was worse in South Africa for Black people than Panama. Black folks, about 25% or more of the population of Panama. The Black folks in Panama are among the most resilient Black people in the diaspora. The Black people in Panama, some of them had negotiated their freedom through fighting, hooking up with the Black Indians and others down there, had negotiated their freedom with the Spanish 100 years before the establishment of, literally 100 years before the United States became a country, actually earlier. As early as, say, about 1520, they had their palenques or their maroon communities, or independent Black communities that were working with, get this, using international allies among the English and others to rob the Spanish, to force the Spanish, who were bringing gold across the Isthmus of Panama and silver and so forth to get back and forth because, you know, the Spanish took control of the Philippines, and getting gold from Peru that would come up the Pacific coast, would cross through Panama, be put off on the Caribbean coast and sailed to Spain. And the Black folks down there created choke points to kick white folk in the behind, take their money. And they were doing it so much until they let these people free. Just don't let we white people take our stuff. You know, white people need their money. They'll be friends to the devil, but they got to have that money. You know, they're not like Black folks that are all emotional and, you know, everything is how I feel. And if you tell me something that's the truth and I don't like it, God forbid it's a person that's of the other sex. Oh, I can't cope with truth. Now, Panama, so the Black folks down there negotiated their freedom 200 years, 300 years before Black folks were really able to break free here. And so they've been struggling all this time. But when the Americans went in there to build that canal, initially to build a train railway, and then eventually the French, de Lesseps, the same person that started the Suez Canal, and they did genocide on the Black Egyptian folks working on the canal there. A minimum of 100,000 people died building the Suez Canal. Then they went down to Panama and they built the canal there, and maybe 40,000 people died, mostly Black, building the Panama Canal. A lot of those people from the Caribbean, from all the islands in the Caribbean, when they were supposedly freed by the British, it was bullshit. What they did was they decided to starve the Black people to death using their coons, the little light skin or house niggas, along with the white folks, to create no opportunities so these people would die off, so they could force these people to work for whatever wage they wanted. And the only way out for those people was to go to Panama or come to America and work. And those people became like an underclass. In fact, the word for them is digger. They're called diggers.
Wow.
And these diggers were mistreated by John McCain's class of people that lived in Canal Zone, his grandfather and father, whoever was down there. In fact, the way the Americans have set this thing up, the whites were paid in gold and the black diggers were paid in silver. We won't even get into the fact that the whites were paid more and given everything better. So John McCain was raised in a place where apartheid was the norm. So anybody ran around, ooh, hell with John McCain. Okay, he's gone. And I'll just say John McCain didn't grow or expand. There's a restaurant on 15th Street, or I think it's 15th Street or 16th Street, DC, called Old Ebbitt's Grill. Maybe it's on 15th Street, I think. And on Old Ebbitt's Grill, John McCain would go there and crack race jokes, nigger jokes amongst his friends and staff. Okay. So, I mean, I'm cracking jokes on him tonight or this morning, and it feels good too. And I'm not finished. Aside from selling out fellow servicemen, that's why you had the swift boat, this group of white men that tanked John McCain because they see him as a traitor. When John McCain signed that statement, the thing that they said he regretted until he died, John McCain was supposed to be court-martialed when he came home, but he had that connection because he came from generations. His father was a 4-star admiral. He had that backup. That means he could betray his colleagues. He could betray the country. He could get people killed. And that white privilege kicked in. So imagine you go from being a traitor that could have been court-martialed, even shot, depending on if folk really want to get hard, and who helped his father and that little closet sissy named Tricky Dick. And the dick was tricky. Pardoned. They didn't punish him. Now, had there been a black man, he would have contrast John McCain, who betrayed his country, to Abraham Bolden, the black Secret Service man who was looking out for the Kennedys, and one that found out about it being a conspiracy where they assassinated Kennedy, and they threw him in jail and lied on him. They framed him. This man is in his 80s with prostate cancer, and no one's trying to pardon him for doing a good job, doing a great job. Okay. In fact, had Abraham Bolden been allowed to go to Dallas, he may have died, but he would have been willing to prevent Kennedy from being assassinated. Imagine what kind of world we'd live in if Abraham Bolden had not been blocked and stripped from the presidential detail. And compare that to if John McCain had been court-martialed. Now, John McCain was a warmonger. The man had like 13, 14 mansions. How do you get that as a senator? He was getting hundreds of thousands of dollars above the table, God knows what below, being the biggest, basically bottom bitch for the armaments industry for the United States, using his position on the Armed Services Committee to promote conflict so he could get a commission. I mean, he's a thug, fraud, a racist. Look at his hands. In Yemen, 10, 15 million or more people, many of them black, are facing total starvation from a war John McCain supported. Remember the United States went to Somalia and then tried to do stuff? John McCain was around. He was the senator then. John McCain, every war, Iraq, Afghanistan, he's down for it. See, he was trying to get payback against people of color for his ass getting broken in the Hanoi Hilton. And for all the little black folks that believe in forgiving everything, no, we need to forgive one another and hold a grudge against people that hate us until they stop doing what they do. And maybe they won't. Then let's hold the grudge. Shoot. Now, so Yemen, just by itself, at least a third of Yemen are black folk. Oh, at least a third. It may be half. They expect in a couple of months that'll be 20 million people facing their death. The war John McCain supported. Now, 20 is way more than 6 million for these Jews folks cry about. John McCain, one of those people supporting the armaments people. What did he do for Rwanda? What did he do for Congo? What did he do for Angola or whatever? Whatever the United States could have a war or sell weapons, this man was boosting it. Not Haiti. He's one of the people that called for the crushing of black folks in Haiti. He's one of the most wickedest men that's cursed black people since they put Negroes in a boat to take them to somewhere other than Africa. He was for and buddies with Hillary Clinton, and he was down with Obama. He liked Obama when he realized Obama wanted to have as many wars as he did. Libya, John McCain has supported the destruction of Gaddafi. John McCain is friends and hangs out with people in ISIS and so forth that mass murder black people, enslave black people, kill Christians, burn people, torture people, rape and behead people, and make women sex slaves. Those are friends of John McCain. The pictures are all up on the internet. He traveled around with folks. So this country has spent $4 trillion fighting Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And he's chilling with them, drinking wine coolers or whatever he was doing. And I'm supposed to cry over him dying? Shoot. I mean, to me, that was late. It's not like, a nice apple on the tree that fell off prematurely. That was a poison apple that should have never ever been on the tree. You just ask yourself, when you think about it, look at all the tributes. Notice that nobody black had anything to say about John McCain. That means John McCain supported Reagan and all the destruction of all the programs and things that black people benefited from. That means he supported Papa Bush, little CIA criminal who's lived too long, God, put a bubble in that little IV he has, please. Some helpless, right? I mean, now that ugly wife of his is gone. Woo. Remember her? She looked like the devil went bungee jumping on her face. Wow. And, yes, she did. She's bad looking. And she was good looking young, but when you're evil, when you age, you look more and more like a demon. She deserved the, a lifetime achievement in ugliness. I mean, it probably got lost in the mail. She never got it, but she won it. Believe that. I believe her. She told me, yeah, you won the ugliest woman ever was first lady. We need 100 Michelle Obamas and prettier in the White House just to remove the curse of Barbara Bush being in there. And forgive me, he was with him and Clinton didn't get along, but yet when Clinton went into Somalia, when Clinton was bombing Bosnia, they had no business over there bombing people. When they were in Kosovo, people in Kosovo are pushing dope and human trafficking and all this stuff. I mean, we've been lied to about what American wars have been. But people like McCain are getting paid. So McCain is loved by the war machine, the hate machine, the killing machine. That's what he belongs to. And I always deal with miseducated, confused, religious black people. I don't care what the religion is. It usually gets on my nerves because it's for pro-black. I always say to people, the Bible and Galatians 6, forget which verse, but it says, whatever a man soweth, so shall he reap. If this man has sown hatred, racism, war, death, destruction, GMO foods, and human experimentation all over the planet, shoot, he shouldn't have been the only one that died. And have his little daughter on there with the blonde hair, crying over daddy. Well, hell, a lot of folks are crying over their mamas and daddies because of what her father was for. You don't see them on TV. And I'm not just saying this to you. I tweeted the broad in Twitter. Your father's a war criminal, baby. If he dies, he's had a good life. He's lived to be 80 something. How many people won't live at all? How many people have depleted uranium? How many babies have a skull that looks like a retarded jelly bean because the depleted uranium from the arms of these people who paid John McCain? How many black men are drowning in the Mediterranean trying to get out of Libya? How many black women are being tortured and raped and sold? How many black men are being tortured, raped, and sold in Libya because of John McCain?
Wow.
Where's Gaddafi's gold? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't John McCain say something about Puerto Rico when the flood hit them? Why didn't John McCain say something about Florida or Flint? You name something that this man did. I mean, the reason a lot of these people love John McCain is they've been told to love him. We were told to love Obama, and some of us still do. But qualitatively, what do we have from him? This man has been, a great American hero. It's not heroic to get shot down and stench out everybody. That would be like me being a quarterback for the Washington Redskins and giving my playbook to the Cowboys and wanting to get the most valuable player ring and the Super Bowl trophy. I mean, that's retarded. I mean, you sold out to a traitor. And he never stopped hating non-white people for him being a white man broken by a group of non-white folks. They say he reconciled to Vietnam. Sure he did. Why? The Vietnamese need to buy American weapons to jump off the Chinese. And who do they send over there? Their little butt boy from the cell block in Hanoi Hilton, John McCain. I mean, it's just God, the more things change, the more they stay the same, And an asshole will always be an asshole no matter how many times you wipe it, okay? It's always going to be the same, all right? So that's how I feel. So John McCain, not a friend. What was one of the last places in America, states, to make King's birthday a holiday?
Arizona, yeah.
Who was senator?
John McCain.
Y'all love his ass?
Well,
you go ahead and do it. I mean, I don't have to, I'm a Christian, but I can't say I can't turn the other cheek. I like Dr. Kingdom, but that stuff, the first time I ever saw the civil rights movement footage was in 1972. And I was watching the folks get beat on that bridge, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, Selma. And my reaction to that is, who took people in to get beat like that? And I had a grudge against Martin Luther King from the time I was, I would have been 7. What? That's the movement? Get your ass beat by people that hate you? Oh, I can't do that. Somebody put that. I mean, I'm not a tough person. I don't like pain. If you hurt me, I'm going to want to do something to you. If I can't do it right then and there, I will eventually do it. I can't do that. I can't have someone spit in my face because I had stuff like that happen in school. And no, I got spit back. I got hit you with the chair or something. You must respect me. I will not do anything to you. You will not do anything to me. So Dr. King and all these other people, all the folks, black folks who love their enemies and got all this damn racial reconciliation for everybody that violates us that won't stop. And somebody like me halfway tells them what's going on, and folks put all that violence up on your webpage. Shame on particular sisters. Shame on y'all for not thinking, for not opening your minds, for saying, well, my emotion is equal to logic and facts. Is that why y'all go to the Asian hair parlors and get beat up and then expect all the black men to come and bail y'all out after you give your money to people that hate you and your babies? And silly brothers, ooh, I see the women on the thread don't like him. Maybe I could get a hookup by attacking and stuff. Weak, sorry, black dudes. I mean, the world is bigger than your magic stick. In fact, your magic stick ain't that big. And if it is that big, can it free us? Will it change the destiny? Will it take the veil and take the shackles off our people? If it can't do that, it's called your private. Keep it private, and let it be an organ versus your brain. Our people have to get out of being primal and be modern. Frederick Douglass and all these other black folks, what they could read, think, contemplate, and they could take truth wherever it came from. It didn't have to be put like what Mary Poppins, a spoonful of sugar. And most folks love that story, don't even realize the lady that wrote that book was into the occult, worshiping the Lucifer. So Luciferian medicine with sugar in it, so you can swallow it because it's got some poison in it, but it tastes good. A lot of things taste good, can kill you. A lot of things like hearing aren't good for you, whether it's from a coon preacher, or from a Democratic candidate, or from a lying-ass Republican that just wants to vote so he can rape you the same way a black or a white Democrat would. Wake up, folks. And I do care, but then again, I don't. I've always said, and this is my saying, brotherhood, I'm a racist against ignorant people. I don't want to live in the same world. I don't like ignorant people in my house. I don't talk to ignorant people over the phone. I don't like sitting next to ignorant people on the bus. I believe in segregation. Stupid people and smart people shouldn't mix. Black folks that can't think and black folks that do think shouldn't be together. And black folks that think shouldn't help black folks who don't like thinking. Let them discover if they won't get it through vicarious learning, through study and observation. If truth can't come to them openly and honestly, then let them learn the hard way. And folks are learning. And for the sisters that got all mad, I'm fascinated. Did they get that mad, brotherhood, when they slashed the sisters' throats over in Oakland? Did they get that mad when they slashed the sisters' throats in Las Vegas this week? Why is this anger so directed towards black men that are thinking, and then they beef and bitch about the black men in lockup, the ones that don't pay child support? Can't have it both ways. And I blame black men. A queen likes knowledge, information, culture, and decency. If you don't like that, you're not a queen. In fact, if you're not a queen, you're something else. Anyway, now, brother, I just wanted to bring something to your audiences because I'm going to be doing this. We got to do another program, my brother. We should just to because I want to talk to you about this attack, this plot to destroy black education.
Oh, Dr. Shaw, I want to put this on people's minds before you get too far to that. I want to say that I remember when they attacked John Kerry, who could have been considered a war hero with the Swift Boat Veterans for Truth back in 2004 when he ran.
Yeah.
They basically destroyed his career in terms of being a president. I mean, they tamed it like they did Michael Dukakis with the tank thing. But also, black people did support, like Stevie Wonder did a tribute to him impromptu tribute to John McCain during a concert. And also D.L. Hughley said that he was a man who exhibited principle. So you had black folks that was like basically campaigning and caping for John McCain and his so-called legacy. Then his wife, her father was a so-called bootlegger, Jim Hensley, out in Arizona. You know, he had the distribution for Anheuser-Busch, but his business tactics were questionable. I mean, even organized crime, like, according to some people. But anyway, go ahead, Dr. Short.
Well, what I was going to say, we got to do Stevie Wonder real fast because I love Stevie Wonder. I've met him once. And I think Stevie Wonder is a great talent. However, Stevie Wonder has done some very odd things the last, say, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to help through media do a protest against Stevie Wonder for something he was trying to do just 5 years ago. 5 years ago, people need to remember something because they don't get it. Stevie Wonder is a great musician, a great talent. I personally grew up listening to. We love Stevie Wonder. We remember him from Fingertips to There's a Ribbon in the Sky and beyond. But ask yourself, what was the last time Stevie Wonder had a big top 10 hit?
Wow, that's a good question.
When did he have an album in the top 10 in the last, say, 20 years?
Great question.
When was the last time? And I'm not saying that Stevie Wonder has been, but in terms of record business, when you don't have a hit in like almost 2 decades, it's about a real big hit. You has been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's a has been. I'm saying that's how the record business operates. Has been.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way. I don't think that Stevie Wonder's a has been. I think Stevie Wonder's a great. But in the industry that he's in, he's a has been.
Exactly.
I don't want that. So when the little nasty comments come in from the little, you don't got no correct. I never said I did. I didn't say he was a has been. I said industry standard is you need to be putting out a hit or two every year. Madonna, if you contrast Madonna, a non-talented Luciferian white fraud. I didn't like it the first time I heard the song Holiday that came out in 83, 84. I've never bought any Madonna stuff. Very simply, Madonna's been hitting at least every year or two. She has a hit, an album. If you compare her output to Stevie Wonder's output, and that Stevie Wonder always has quality stuff. All of his music is wonderful. Madonna stuff is trash, although it's danceable. Who's relevant? Rihanna. Okay. Broad, these people put stuff out all the time. Stevie Wonder, where am I going with it? Stevie Wonder works for Rahm Emanuel, the little homosexual racist who abuses his wife in Chicago, whose father was a terrorist. Rahm Emanuel's brother, Ari Emanuel, is this little Zionist Jewish terrorist. It's Stevie Wonder's management, either directly or indirectly. Okay? Did you know that?
No, sir. No.
So Stevie Wonder is a talent, and he gets love and all because he's got somebody Zionistic that he's working for. Why would I say that? 5 years ago, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, the folks who murder Palestinians, many of them black, the Israelis just admitted in the last 2 weeks that they took a drone and blew up a black Palestinian boy playing on the beach just to kill him. The Israeli Defense Force helps manage concentration camps in the Negev Desert in Israel, full of as many as 50,000 black people. The IDF helped train the South Africans to murder black people in Angola, Mozambique, and Lusaka, Zambia. and also in South Africa itself and in Namibia, the Israeli army trains the police that murder our black boys. There's a thing called JINSA, JINSA, the Jewish Institute for National Security Affairs that works with police departments across America. So American policemen are taught how to shoot, to kill, and torture and brutalize people the way the Palestinians are brutalized by the Israelis, but that's done primarily to we black people here in the United States. And what was Stevie Wonder doing? And what did Shaka Khan do in Stevie Wonder's place because we gave Stevie Wonder so much hell? They're raising money for the Israeli Defense Forces. Stevie Wonder was supposed to do a tribute to the IDF, the ones who massacre and drop 5-ton bombs on families and use white phosphorus and torture the Israeli Defense Forces that went to Haiti and cut the corneas off the eyes of black Haitians and took their organs and sold them. Stevie Wonder's raising money for them.
Wow.
I love Stevie Wonder, but that's a cool move if I've seen one. Stevie Wonder backed out. I remember the radio broadcast I did. My joke was, we all knew Stevie Wonder was blind. We never knew he was stupid. So you know who went in his place? Another person that hasn't had a major hit in decades. I called her Shaka Coon. And I changed that song with the Shaka Coon. Shaka Coon. Shaka Coon. Right? That's just because I don't feel for you, right?
Right.
I don't feel for you because I don't love you. Right. I mean, I did the whole thing. I did the rap. Yeah. They didn't have us back on the radio for a while because they were mad, but no, Shaka Coon. And she's still doing it. So when they're in Hollywood, they have to raise money for these Luciferian, pedophile, Satanists, Zionists who hate black people's guts. And I'm sorry, I know Stevie Wonder got his radio station. He got to pay his bills, and he keeps marrying and making all these babies. And thank God he's making them. Someone's got to make black babies. There's a whole woman with the bad attitudes out there. Y'all kill babies. We got a lot of sisters, think they're so special and killing the black babies. Shoot, if you don't want to have a baby, don't sleep with folk. There are lots of ways to avoid getting pregnant without killing the black child.
That's something we don't really want to talk about.
A lot have a lot of nasty attitudes and meanness and all this stuff. A lot of it has to do with the abortions that folks have had. Yeah, and folk need to go and get some help, psychotherapy, for having killed the life up in you. And a lot of sorry brothers out there, shoot, if the Hispanics can go out and do any kind of work, you should do it too. If you make a baby, don't have that girl kill your child.